Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, I really need the shaving. I've been off for a week off work, and I sometimes, when I'm off, I refrain from shaving. Unless the missus starts, well, you know. Anyway, right, I've just seen now. I had this thing here on the back. Right, if you live in Portugal, you know exactly what this is. If you've ever been to Portugal, you might know what this is. You can encounter these on a lot of souvenir shops and etc. It's a very traditional thing in Portugal. And down here, basically, what it says if you want to put it on a cuff, I think that's how you say in English. I think that's the expression. Put it on a cuff or put it on the arm, which basically means if you want to pay later, take this. Right. Anyway. The video is nothing to do with this. The video is a sponsored video today. Now, this video was not even to happen. So I got contacted actually on the forum, and yeah, some conversations back and forwards. At some point, these guys, they actually said, well, I take you, I'm not interested, blah 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 blah. And then it took me a couple of days to reply. And on those 2 days, I've been thinking about why I should or not do it. And I think I was being selfish. I make these videos, guys, for you on that side. And even if I do this just to share with you what this is about, the tools, the service and whatnot, I think will be a win-win. Plus, you have some discounts on the way if you are interested. So let's gonna go what this is for. Video thumbnail probably already showed you, and it is a sponsored video. Who this is sponsored by? This is sponsored by TM Performance. So I'm gonna show you some tools. I'm gonna demonstrate how everything works on one of the tools. I'm not gonna go through the three of them because just the tools that I've heard, the service is all the same. And I'm going to demonstrate how everything works. But it is sponsored by TM Performance. Now, TM Performance is a tuning company. I know there is loads of them out there. I never heard about these guys before. But let me tell you, I got these back in April, somewhere around there. And so we are now, what day is today? 10th of July, 25. And I've used it about 7 or 8 times, and the service has been absolutely perfect. But more on that later. I have no complaints whatsoever so far. They have been spot on. And yeah, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how this works on one of the tools. I also have a bunch of questions that I'm gonna answer at the end of this video. So I had a few questions I would like to ask them, and I would like to have the answers. So I asked in advance, they gave me the answers, and at the end of this video I'm going to show you, or I will take you through the questions and their answers to those questions. Okay, obviously guys, if you have any other questions at the end of this video, put them below. I can always reach out to them and get that information, or from here then you guys can go and ask yourselves. Just go on their website and get in contact, whichever way you feel more confident, or you feel that you want to do it. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you the tools, and I will take you through everything as we go along. So let's going to do it. And these are the tools. If you want to do this kind of stuff, these are probably the main tools you want to go for. You don't need all three, obviously. You can just get one of them, but these are the main tools. There is other tools out there, but these are probably the most known ones. What to say, if you want to buy one of these tools, guys, just visit their shop online, links in the description below again. And a couple things here. One, if you want to buy any of these tools, use the code LMAuto for 10% discount. I repeat, LMAuto for 10% discount. Another thing which I think is a great selling point, I don't know if there's other companies doing similar or the same, or even better. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. But there's a great selling point with these guys, which is the following. If you buy, let's say, for example, Kess, and let's say, for example, I don't even know the price now, but let's say you spend £1,000 on this tool. If you do that, you get 1,000 credits on your account. So the way this file service works is you put money into the, once you register, etc., you put money, credits into their file systems, and then as you use their service, there is a cost associated with whichever service you select, and then they deduct that from your credits. So that's basically how it works. But again, in repeating, if you buy any of these tools, whatever money you spend on any of them, you get that in credits, which, if you look at it, is like you get the tool for free. So if you spend £1,000 on this, you get £1,000 credits to spend on files, which means that is actually for free, right? And that is the same for Flex or for Autotuner. So I think it's a great selling point, and I think it demonstrates how committed these guys are to their business and to help people out there. And I think it's a great selling point. Plus, LM Auto 10% discount. So the tools, I'm not going to focus too much on the tools because the tools are just the tools. They are genuine tools. There's no copies or clones here. Genuine tools, and they are all slave tools. Obviously, that's how they make the money, is to make sure whatever you do with these files, with these tools, you always need to go back to them to do the files for you, because, as I said, they are slave tools to a master tool that is owned by TM Performance. So whichever tool you use to read a file, only TM Performance, with these tools, only TM Performance will be able to work on that file. Even if you send the file read from Autotuner to a different dealer that has an Autotuner, you won't be able to do nothing with that file, because the file is encrypted by this tool or that tool to their respective masters. So I'm not going to go too much into that here, because that's not what this video is about. The video is for the service, which, again, guys, so far I'm really happy with. So ECUs, let's gonna read an ECU, and then I'll show you everything, how it works on a website, how you do upload the file, how you get the file, and so forth. So I don't have nothing too recent. I have that 2018 Kia, and there's another 2018 Range Rover that we are Land Rover that we are working on, but I'm not going to focus on that because the principle is all the same. You do the connections, read, whether it is a EDC 16 C35 or a EDC 17 or a MED 17, it doesn't really matter. The principle is all the same. This is from a BMW 2-liter diesel. I don't even know which car it is, but it's a EDC 16 C35. So I'm gonna pick up one of these tools to read that ECU, and then I will demonstrate how everything works on their file system. So let's gonna use this one, Flex. Let's gonna use Flex for no particular reason, guys. At this point I could have used any of the other tools, decided to go for Flex, so everything is connected the way instructions dictate. And now we're gonna use, first time doing something like this, so let's gonna do this way so you can actually see everything that's going on. So from here, let's gonna try to, so instructions were there on how everything is supposed to be connected. You just follow whatever. All the other tools are very similar. So we're gonna try to connect to the ECU, and hopefully we will get some results on the console. There we go. Connect is finished. And now from here, guys, as you can see, in this particular ECU, you can read the external flash or the external EEPROM, and you can do a full backup. We're just going to do Do we need a full backup? Yeah, we'll do a full backup, why not? So we're going to do a full backup. Full backup, or do I need just the maps? Let's do a full backup from the ECU. I think you can send the full backup to them anyway, so that doesn't really make a difference. So we'll do a full backup. And once this is ready, we're going to save this somewhere. And then I will show you on the website how everything works from there. So now we are going to move into the second part of the video. I'm using my phone to record the audio because the microphone on this laptop is really bad. It was not coming out very good. And but yeah, that's not important to hear. So once you get to this page, guys, you can either register, obviously if you never register with them, or you can log in. And once there, I'm going to show you not just how to so there we go. What I've just told you earlier is a brief description about it's an admin message, and basically here, guys, tells you exactly what I've told you earlier. Whatever money you spend on the tools, you get it on credits. So just bear that in mind, which means the tool is for free. So this is your main menu. You have something there for you guys for your profile, if you want to complete your profile. And here on the side is your menus. If you scroll down, you have the same message but down here, and then further below you have some of the stuff you can choose what you can do. And then you have a Bosch search part number, so you put the Bosch and it tells you what that ECU is. And then further below, I'm not going to show you because there is usernames in there, is reviews and stuff like that. And this is your dashboard basically. Here you have the price list. I'm not going to go and show you. I'm not going to show you absolutely everything, but this is how many credits things costs you. Obviously here, options only is not zero. Is you open it, and then in here you have your how many credits you need for whatever you select. And the same for all the other ones. So whatever you choose to do, that's some of the prices. And then when you open, you have different prices for different stuff. So, but that, guys, all you need to do is register and you have access to all of this. Store credits, if you want to buy credits to add in there. Again, so you go there and then you add credits. Again, guys, if you buy a tool, you get automatically the same amount, the same value in credits. And do not forget, guys, LM Auto for 10% discount. So let's gonna now do the file. Just before we do it, you have the upload form and the download form. You have tickets if you want to open, or my tickets if you want to ask anything before you upload a file. If you want to ask if it's, I don't know, is it possible to do X, Y, and Z? You can ask first before you go through all the hassle of uploading to then be told, oh, that's not possible or whatever. ECU, a Bosch ECU search, which is on the same menu. Disconnections. So that's all the procedures you need to do for different stuff. They give you, depending on ECU, depending on the brand, if you want to, I don't know, delete certain systems. Sometimes you need to unplug, sometimes you can leave things plugged in. These procedures will show you absolutely everything. There's no point for me to go there. But let's gonna do an upload form. So from here, you can put the ECU number if you want, or you can come down here, select the vehicle you want. This is 2000. I don't even know the year of that car, to be fair with you. That's probably, I would say, that's probably 2007. Vehicle is a car. That's it's difficult to read. I think it's because I'm on dark mode. Pretty sure he is. BMW model. Let's say that's from a 3 Series, maybe. Fuel, diesel, generation. Nah, it's before that. Let's say 2005, 2008. Let's say, I don't know which one is, to be fair with you. Let's say it's that one. ECU. There we go. Boom. So your selections are done. Transmission type, if you want to search whatever, I don't know if it was a manual or it doesn't really matter. And then the rest is filled in automatically. For your records, you can put a registration number if you want, the mileage and the client name, so you have a record of what you are doing. And then you come down, select the memory type. So you're going to do, if it was OBD or boot or bench mode, in this case was bench mode. The tool you have used, so you have all these tools. We're going to select flex. Master or slave was obviously a slave in our case, and that was a bench or boot mode. So you can select if it was a virtual reading, OBD, or bench was bench. And then you are going to come down here. Yeah, that's it. And then here we're going to select what you want to do. In my case, guys, this is just for test purpose. So we're going to go options only. And we're going to select I think is air. Maybe not. Might not be here. Will it be here? No, it's going to be on options. Pops and bangs, real flaps. Okay, so check what's been done on file. So let's gonna select that one. So basically what they do is they're gonna check what has been done on the file. Is the file original? Is the file being already manipulated? That's what they're gonna do here. Then you come down here, you select the file you want. In my case, I open a folder called test. So when you do a full backup, that's how it comes up as a zip file. You unzip the file. You have here, you have a log file, and then you have the dump, and here it splits in 3. So you have the full backup, which is everything together. You have the external flash or the EEPROM. So we're going to select the external flash, do open. And then if you have any other stuff that you want to upload, you can do it here. We are not really interested at this point. And then you can select the priority. So you can select as urgent, not required until tomorrow, 1 to 2 hours, as soon as you can, customer waiting ASAP. We are not on a rush. So actually, that's going to do that one. I think it's the first time I'm selecting this one. Usually I go as soon as you can because, you know. So I'll do that one. And then we scroll down. Any extra info. So if you want to say anything else about the car, or if you want to give any specific instructions, you can do it. And from here we do submit. And that's it. The ticket is open and it goes on your already previous files. So as you can see, in my case, it comes here right at the top. It says processing, 10 to 30 minutes, and that's it, really. So you can't. These ones obviously I can go and download if I want, because they are already they have been already done. But now we're gonna wait. Usually, guys, you get an email, and usually whatever says in there 10 to 30 minutes, it is within the 10 to 30 minutes. I never had where they went over that time. Usually they are very accurate on the timing. If it says there 10 to 30 minutes, it's 10 to 30 minutes. So now we're gonna wait for that file, and then I'll show you how to download the file and that good stuff. So it's gonna wait for the file to come back. So as you can see, we already have something here, and just to note that we uploaded the file at 13:09, and as you can see here, 13:11, I got a reply saying I had a message. Now in this case, guys, because there's nothing to download, they just said the file was cancelled. It keeps saying it's processing, but if I go into the file, actually it's not there, it's there. As you can see, it just put there 100% original. Okay, if was that was something to be downloaded, this processing would have changed to unlock, and then once you press that unlock, a pop-up window would come up with some information, and once you accept or once you press OK, that's when you're going to be charged for that particular file. Obviously, because all of this is already done, as you can see now, you can just go straight to click to download. I'll just give you an example on this one below, and as you can see, it pops up straight away for you to download whatever file you need from your systems here that you have already done. If there is another thing I would like to mention, for example, is in this particular case is not the case, but let's say they sent you a file and something is not quite right, and you want to fine tuning, or you want to let them know that something is not right. You don't need to open any tickets or anything like that. You just open the particular file. In my case, I opened this one. I opened this one here, but I could open, let's say, for example, this file here, for example, and all you needed to do was come onto the file chat. Okay, right there, you could come onto the file chat and just write something down. Right, tell them what's going on, and then you would use this file chat for any future files for this particular car. So if they were to send you another file with some changes, that's where the file would come on the chat, and you just download the file from here until you get the correct file, or until you get whatever issue you are having resolved. And I know this because I had that exact experience on one of these files down here. But the service, guys, was really good. So far I'm happy with everything that I've done using this system, and yeah, that's this simple, guys. There's nothing else to it. I think from here, right, guys, and from here, from where we left, guys, literally, if it was anything that was downloadable, if it was a modified file that you needed to put back into the ECU, from that menu, you just press download, you download the file as I showed you, and from there, you just go to the menu of the software of the tool you are using at that time. In our case was Flex. Just go back to Flex, write whatever, select the file, press write, and that's it, job done. And it was that simple. Okay, now from here, I don't know if I mentioned that at the start. If I didn't, I might have to put a note somewhere at the bottom of the video. There is a few questions, there was a few questions I want to ask. I actually published something prior on Patreon for you guys if you wanted any questions being answered at this point. So I have 6 questions here that I've asked previously, and they are questions that I now have the answer to. Might be something that you would be interested to know the answer. So if it is, stay here, don't go anywhere yet, and I'm going to take you through. So one of the first questions I asked was, let me see if I can, I actually going to do something here. So I'm going to put it here like this. So this was the first question, and basically what I'm asking is if they would encrypt other files that were not files done by themselves. Long story short, just shorten the question, that's basically that. So let's imagine, for example, I want to write a file back into an ECU. Let's say one of the files I have already that were done by other people, and let's say I want to write that file into a car using now one of these tools. These tools will not write those files unless they are encrypted to the tool. So my question was, if I send you that file, can you encrypt that file, let's say for Flex or for Kes or whatever? Can you do that? And basically the short answer is no, especially if it is a service that they offer themselves. So, and that's exactly what they replied. So I'm guessing if you have something that they don't do there, you might be able on a single on a singular basis, you can go and ask the question. If you have something that, look, I have this file, the file was done X, Y, and Z, you do not offer that service, but would you be able to encrypt this file into this tool so I can write the file? Maybe they will do it, but the short answer is a no. Then the question after that was this question: can the tools be released to another dealer or master? So their answer is yes, they will do it, but remember when I said to you guys that whatever money you spend on one of the tools, you get that in credits, which means you get the tool for free. So if you ever want to release that tool to a different dealer, to another master or to a different dealer, you basically need to pay the tool. So if the tool was 1,000, you got £1,000 in credits. You use those credits in the space of a year or 2 years, whatever, and then 2 years later you just go, you know what, I want to go to a different dealer. For them to release the tool, you need to pay the value that the tool was. It's business, makes sense, that's the way it is. And when I say release, basically is if you want to move from TM Performance to another tuning company, but you want to keep the same tools. So at the moment, these tools are locked to TM Performance, to their masters. If I want to use a different dealer, the tools will have to be released by this dealer now, so they can then be registered to a different tuning company. Okay. Then I've asked this question, okay, which is pretty much very similar to the other one, and their answer, their reply was same as answer number 2, which makes sense. So if you want, the only bit there is that if you want to release these tools into masters, there is the cost of the master after that. So because a slave tool is cheap they are cheaper because they are slave tools. But if you want a master, then you'll have to buy the master software or the master authorizations and whatnot. There's all costs involved, which once you register every single one of these tools online, which you need to go to Autotuner, register with Autotuner, and then register the tool as a slave. Do the same with Kes and do the same with Flex. All the costs involved are there, and you will see how much it costs each one of them. Then question number 4 was this one here. If I write a file using a slave tool and then read it with a master tool, will the file be open? So the reason why I've asked this is because there is some companies that they tend to protect the files, or they can protect the files, which means if let's say for example I do something on a car using one of these tools, and then 6 months later the guy decides to go elsewhere to do some work, would that other company will be able to read that ECU? And their answer was, we rarely or never password protect files. There you have your answer. you will be able to. Then number 5, that one there. So basically what I'm asking is, as you can see there on the question, is basically if I send a file, because I sometimes get cars here, I don't know what's been done to them, and this is good because you can use that service to know if any modifications have been done into it. But let's say I want to do something else, nothing related to whatever's been done on the car, and sorry about that, got interrupted again. So basically if you want to do any modifications and you want to make sure whatever changes that, if any, have been done previously on a car, if they are retained, yes they are. So that's question answered. And the last question I've asked was if they accepted like specific requests, and I think the guy took these as anything like stage 3s and stuff like that, because once you start to go to that sort of field, often requires custom things to be installed, custom modifications. So essentially they said no, we don't, even because it's difficult to do things like that without having the car actually on a rolling table to see what the car is doing, make sure all the parts are good, because you start to ask for a lot of power. So basically stage 3s they don't, and any other bits and bobs that you want, very specific, again you'll have to do these on a one-to-one basis. If you have any specific requests, you can always ask. That's how they worded it. But stage 3s is a no. And I think that's it. That's the questions I had. If you have any other questions, guys, that you'd like to ask, by all means, you can always put them below and I will forward that to them. Or you guys have now all the links, you have all the how-to, you can do all of that yourselves, guys. And just before I go, I think that's it for this video, really. So all you're going to see me now is in the future, if you see me using these tools, I will just put links in the descriptions of those, but there's no more advertising. The advertising is here, guys, if you are interested. I will just show you how to use these tools in the future if I ever use them on videos. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Do not forget LM Auto for a 10% discount if you guys are interested. And that's it for this video. Nothing else to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you do still have any questions or any comments, you know exactly how it works, just put them right below. And like always, thanks for watching.